Walking to school used to be as much a part of our childhood experience as school itself. Walking taught us about our neighborhoods, gave us confidence and independence, and we didn't even notice that daily dose of exercise. Today, there are many reasons kids spend more time in cars than on their feet. One pilot program in Bellingham, Washington, is working hard to reverse this trend and bring the benefits of walking to school back to local students.
The health of our kids is a big issue. They don't spend as much time being physically active. Back when I was a kid, the majority of kids walked to school, and today we're just not seeing that. The numbers have plummeted. We're also seeing an obesity epidemic. So we want our kids to be out there moving, and if they can be out walking and biking to school, the teachers and the principal tell us the kids get to school and they're more alert and receptive. They're ready to learn.
Even though walking can be incredibly beneficial for students, there are a few key reasons why parents are reluctant to allow their kids to walk. For the parents at Larrabee School, the questions surrounding safety were compelling, but the many benefits of walking made them determined to find solutions.
As we walked around the school and some of the streets, we noticed there weren't enough safety crosswalks, sidewalks, and stop signs.
A lot of parents said that it was a safety issue. It's because they felt there wasn't proper marking for the walking route with crosswalks and stop signs, and they also felt like they wanted somebody for their children to walk with.
I think it would be nice for her to walk. We live so close, but right now I don't feel safe for her to cross Fairhaven Parkway and make it up here.
We live very close, but at this point he's too young to walk without supervision. It will keep me from having to drive my car to take him to daycare, and it will give him a healthy alternative.
Creating safe routes to school and encouraging students to walk takes commitment from an entire community. Community partnerships between schools, law enforcement, and local governments are key to long-term success. In the case of Larrabee, their Safe Routes team included school administrators, parents, teachers, students, City Public Works, and the Health Department. Together, the group planned projects and activities that fell into three distinct categories: engineering, enforcement, and encouragement and education.
We realized there were infrastructure improvements that needed to be made, and we also wanted to address the school zone safety. We realized that education needed to be done for the kids to learn how to be safe pedestrians and cyclists, and that to put in some programs in place that would encourage more kids to walk.
We work with the City of Bellingham Police Department, City of Bellingham Public Works, and then the Health Department's role would be involved with the education and encouragement pieces.
The Larrabee Safe Routes to School project was given the financial boost of a grant from Washington State Department of Transportation. This funding was essential for the engineering improvements.
You've got a sidewalk here, which is an excellent pedestrian corridor. We've got a couple locations where there were not crosswalks on the side streets, and people come in and out of these pretty quick. This is your commute to work. So that was the first thing, was to link up this sidewalk here. So then you got to get them across this road, which is kind of busy, more than one of these residential ones. So you see the inclusion of flashers, which adds that level of warning because there's more risk involved for pedestrian crossing here. We put a bulb out, which doubles the width that they can stand there while they're waiting to cross. So there's more space for them and more protection. And then up to the school, where we had the 19th improvements at 19th and Larrabee, and that was pretty much crosswalks on all four sides, because that is at the school. And so they've made their whole journey all the way there. But you've got kids coming from every which way at that point. So you need to get everybody onto that school, the sidewalk that abuts the school. And that sort of finishes the journey for them.
The traffic unit came out to the Larrabee School in the fall for 1 week, and we came back out just a couple weeks ago in the spring for 1 week with an added emphasis. And during that emphasis, what we did was I assigned 2 motor officers in the morning during the traditional walk to school time, and 2 officers in the afternoon during the traditional walk home from school time to be in the grid around the Larrabee School. We also each day brought out our speed wagon and set the sign up with the speed limit that says 20 when children are present. And then what we did during that hour and a half with the officers is we just emphasized working the stop signs, working the speed limits, talking to the kids that maybe didn't pay attention to crossing the road correctly. And our job was just to be here, be visible, and we made a few stops.
Ensuring student safety on the streets starts at the most basic level. Parents, teachers, and schools need to provide opportunities for kids to learn how to be safe on foot as well as on a bicycle. At Larrabee, the educational component started with a Walk to School Day celebration designed to put the spotlight on this very issue, but included many other activities and events, such as a bike rodeo, assemblies, a walking school bus, Passport to Health, and Bike to Work and School Day.
There's two big events that really help Safe Routes to School, and they're nice because they happen in the beginning at the end of the school year. So the beginning of school year is International Walk to School Day, and it's just encouraging everybody to walk to school for that one day, and hopefully for more than that. And we had a celebration station here where we had goodies and pedestrian safety material to hand out to parents and kids. And just did a big promotion of it and try to encourage kids to walk to school that day. And then at the end of the year in May, there's Bike to Work and School Day, and we had a great turnout for that. Again, did a celebration station with goodies and snacks for the kids and banners up all over the place. We were lucky enough that Larrabee has morning assemblies, so we utilized the morning assemblies to provide safety lessons at each of the assemblies. We had a police officer came in and talked to the kids the importance of being a safe pedestrian and cyclists and wearing your helmet, and he did a great job, and the kids really were responsive, and Ped B was there that day and they had a great time. We had a great bike rodeo. We did it all day long, and we had about 6 different classrooms be able to come through. We had loaner helmets and loaner bicycles, so the kids, they weren't required to bring their bike that day. It was great. We had an hour for each class, and we would provide the basics, the ABCs, so they would check their bike with the air, brake, and chain. And then we would do a proper helmet fit, which a lot of the kids had already known the 2V techniques, and so the kids were really receptive to that, and they remembered it from the assembly, and they had a great time.
The walking school bus provided an additional level of safety that helped reassure parents and made them active partners in the project. And the experience of walking supports important skills.
For many parents, one of their concerns about having their kids walk to school is they don't want them walking alone. And so if they can walk with other children and with an adult, then they'll feel comfortable. We set up what's known as a walking school bus, and that's where a parent or staff member walks. They don't drive, they walk the bus, and they pick up kids along a specified route and deliver them to school. When we first started, they weren't very safe crossing the street and looking for cars, knowing which to look left, right, left. As the weeks went on, you would see the kids all look left, right, left, and they would make sure the crosswalk was clear, so they could go across.
We have 3 different routes, and it's been really fun because Mr. Page has visited the routes, and to walk to school with your principal has been a real key issue, and we're always pointing out, stop, look left, look right, check for traffic, listen for traffic. And I think the kids that are doing it, I think they're learning how to be safe. And I think it's been a very educational program.
So the kids, they learn a lot about their neighborhood. They got to know their other kids who lived in their area. It was fun interacting with the parents. And the parents were, it was a wonderful surprise that they might be worried that they didn't think they could have their kid walk to school, but oh, here's another parent or a staff member, and I know my child is going to be safe.
Encouraging walking helps pave a pathway to healthy habits that children will carry throughout their lifetime. These healthy habits were supported at school as well.
We also implemented a program, it's called Passport to Health, and the purpose of it was to help kids keep track of their trips to school. And we did this throughout the year. Each month, every other month, we would provide incentives to all the students. And then at the end of the year, we were able to put all the passports for the kids who had completed them, and we had a prize drawing for a new bicycle. Kids nowadays aren't getting enough exercise, and what's great about Safe Routes to School is it's encouraging that lifestyle of being physically active. We're not talking about, you know, doing sports or things like that. We're talking about making it a habit. And when kids have habits when they're younger, early on, that sticks with them throughout their lifespan. And so if they can adopt the habit of walking and bicycling places, hopefully what that will do is they'll carry that onto their lifestyle.
None of these efforts would have been successful without the widespread participation on the part of community partners, including the school district, the health department, and the City of Bellingham.
What I love so much about Safe Routes to School is that it pulls different organizations that don't normally talk to each other about, you know, making it safe or physical activity. It pulls the police into it, the engineer, the planners, and the health department into it, and we're all focusing on safety, but also the health of our kids. And it's just one of those great community kind of grassroots projects that it feels really good to be a part of it, and the community support for it is just great.
Well, for me, I think it's important to be involved in the program because I can be a role model for the students as well. There are days when I will ride my bike into school. We have several staff members that will walk into school that live nearby, or that they ride their bikes into school. And the walking school bus, I try and be, they call it a school bus driver, and I try and be part of that. It's a time that I can connect with kids and talk and find out about their day and their week, and be a role model for them.
The results of the Safe Routes to School pilot project have been incredibly positive and wide-reaching. Many of the program's original goals have been met, to the delight of all the community partners.
The walking school bus has definitely been one of the most successful parts. And the kids really listened and they learned. Our goals for the program were to increase the number of children safely walking and biking to school. And I think we've been successful with that. We've seen more kids walking and biking to school, but more importantly, they're doing it in a safe way. We put in the infrastructure improvements. We have educated the students so they know how to walk and bike safely. And we've also educated the people who live in the neighborhood about obeying the speed limit in the school zone and stopping for children, stopping for people in the crosswalks. And sort of a broader goal of the city is to make our streets safer for all users. We want them to be safe for people driving cars, for people walking, for people biking, people taking the bus. And the Safe Routes to School program accomplishes those goals.
I definitely think more kids are walking, more Larrabee kids are walking, and I think there's more kids that are walking in the neighborhoods. Our program has reached all the way down to incorporate Happy Valley kids, to incorporate middle school kids coming from Fairhaven Middle, and I think everyone's walking more because of the safety measures that the city put in.
Of course, I work here, so I get to see the kids come to school every morning. And when you see the kids walking, when you see the kids biking to school, when you see on Wednesdays, you know, the walking school buses, the kids are really learning, you know, that it's healthier, that it's good for the environment, that it's safe, and we have more kids walking and biking to school now. And it's so exciting to see something, well, that I worked hard on and Julie worked hard on and that the school as a whole worked hard on come to a reality. And it's very satisfying to know that those kids are beginning or maybe continuing a healthy lifestyle, and that it will become part of their everyday. You know, maybe because of this they'll choose to walk to middle school, or maybe they'll choose to walk to high school rather than, or work someday rather than, you know, riding in a car.
Have a helmet, look always across the street, stop at the crosswalks to make sure the cars stop. I usually stay with my sister, and I usually try to get light clothes on, and I just look both ways before crossing the street. I look across the street and look both ways twice, and we always walk with our friends, so.
The successes and lessons learned at Larrabee can assist other schools in developing similar programs. The beauty of Safe Routes to School projects is that they can be customized to fit the needs of individual school communities.
I really believe in this program, and I think this can take off in other schools. We want to get our kids out there being active. We want to keep them safe. This has been a year of learning and a year of a lot of interaction and fun. At times there's been challenges. You know, how can we get more kids out there walking, and how are we going to make this program work? But we've had such great support from the school community and the families. It's such an empowering program, not only for the children, but for the neighborhood. And it just makes our community a much more livable place.
If you're interested in starting a Safe Routes to School program in your neighborhood, here are some places to start.